All right, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a very special guest. Carmen is coming on the channel, and Carmen actually discovered digital marketing by watching this channel. So it's another full circle moment. She watched a bunch of the interviews, decided to jump into digital marketing, and now she's one of the interviews. So, Carmen, appreciate you coming on the channel, and thanks for coming on. And if you could just give us a little bit of a backstory of before you discovered digital marketing. So before you discovered digital marketing, in terms of your career and education, did you have any jobs? Were you thinking about going to college? That kind of thing.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, Shane. Uh, yeah, so before digital marketing, I discovered this possibility of a career at 14. So obviously, I was like, starting high school, I had a friend, he wanted to sell paintings. And so I was like, oh, I could do your social media. And yeah, so I was just doing like his Instagram and like Facebook and everything. I was researching, how to do it well. And so I saw that it was an actual career. So that was interesting to me. But all throughout high school, even not thinking of digital marketing or anything, my dad, he had a experience where he went to college and then it didn't help with actually translating to getting a job. And he had parents who drilled college into him. So growing up, he never told me college was necessarily bad, but he was just like, you can research different options. There's many different options out there. Uh, so yeah, I was just researching all throughout high school, curious about many
Hmm.
different careers. I thought I wanted to like be a professional chef at some point or just do all these different things. Uh, yeah, and I would just ask people in like different professions questions. But I never really was dead set on college. But yeah, I am really thankful to have parents that didn't drill college into me, so it gave me more breathing room. But yeah, so right before my senior year, I was researching. I found your channel actually, and you were just talking about, top five different degrees for this or different jobs that don't need a degree, all these different things. And it sparked my curiosity because you weren't biased toward one way or the other, like college is horrible or like you need college. Uh, yeah, and so then I came across Seth's course, which is talked about also on your channel, and that helped me to really like understand it, get into it. I saw his webinar and I like how he wasn't just explaining the skills, but also how to get a job. And I just like anything that requires real life application. So yeah, I never went to college. I skipped college, and I'm thankful I don't have any debt of any sort, and that I got a head start, honestly, in life with this. So yeah, it's cool.
Awesome. Awesome. So you basically, you graduated high school, you're kind of looking at your different options. You're thinking maybe I go to college, but by the way, slow clap to your parents. That's awesome because a lot of parents basically just force their kids to go to college basically without kind of doing the research about it. So awesome parents. So yeah, it's you're about 18, 19 years old. You're starting to look into your options and you come across, my channel. I give a bunch of different options that I think are good. IT, digital marketing, tech sales kind of depends on your personality, which one's the best for you. And you decide to go for digital marketing. So, what made you choose digital marketing? What got you interested in it?
That's a good question. I also remember actually at 16 years old, my dad had me take an aptitude test. It was like, I think a $700-800 aptitude test. It went so in depth because he took it at 30. And by then it's like not late, but kind of late. So he was like, I want you to be at, know what your natural abilities are. And so then when they gave me my results, it was like an hour meeting. And then they mentioned digital marketing would be good for me because they said my type of personality doesn't like the same thing every day, but I also don't like crazy changes. And so with digital marketing, it's like I have the skills where I'm doing the same thing, but then I have different clients, different businesses. So it's like a good world of both. I'm also very communicative, they said. So it's just all these skills kind of combined into that. They gave me other career options too. But when I started at 14 learning about this, I was just really intrigued. Um,
Mhm.
I also just I like more logical type of jobs. I can be creative, but I'm more of like a mechanical process driven person. And so, I was especially learning Google Ads in Seth's course, and that's pretty basic with like the steps you need to take, the strategy, things like that. I also like that I'm not forced to be in a building 8 hours a day, nothing wrong with that, but I
Mhm.
like being anywhere I want to be on my remote job. Yeah, it was just interesting because like when I was researching other careers, I would come to a point where like I was deep in research and I was like, oh, like that doesn't really match with the lifestyle I want or with my goals. But like as I was looking more into digital marketing, nothing really stood out to me of like, oh, I really don't want that or that could be a conflict. And I don't know, it
Okay.
was just random little things like that that really helped me out. So yeah.
Got it. Okay. That's awesome. First of all, that's really cool that you were even thinking about your career at like 14, 15, 16 years old. That's amazing. And then the second thing is your situation reminds me a lot of Keyshawn, who I interviewed on the channel about 3 years back. So at the time, I think he was 19, maybe 20 years old, somewhere around there. And he was able to land a digital marketing job at 18 years old, probably like later on, like really close to 19. And that was when I interviewed him about 3 years back. He was already making, 50, 60,000 a year full time. And then I just recently interviewed him and he's 22 at this point. So all of his friends are graduating from college. He's 22 years old. He's already making 6 figures a year. All of his
Wow.
friends graduating from college, probably 6 figures in debt, and they're getting, 40, $50,000 a year jobs, and he's already making 6 figures a year. So
Wow.
that's what you got to look forward to, right? Like it's so smart, especially with like careers like digital marketing, is you can't learn this in school. Right. So it's just something you have to learn by doing because it just changes all the time and you just have to be in the trenches, like seeing what's happening. So you definitely have that to look forward to. And maybe we can get you back on the channel 3 years from now for an update.
Mhm.
So, okay, you decided to jump into the course. How long did it take you to make that decision after discovering that the course exists, Seth's course, and then deciding to actually jump into it?
That's a good question. I think I actually discovered it before my senior year. So I was 17. And then throughout my senior year, I was just kind of like, I knew I wasn't going to college, and I honestly just felt like I was going to get the course. I was honestly praying about it too. I was like, God, give me wisdom, what the best thing is to do. And I just felt like it kept pointing back to digital marketing. So I thank God for
Mm,
that. Uh, but yeah, it was, I think, March or no, it was May 2024. I got it. And then I think I discovered it like August 2023. So yeah, it actually surprises me that I didn't like buy it right away or like over research. I just kind of felt like everything was going to be fine almost. So yeah, almost a year. But I was really heavily watching the testimonials. I think I reached out, or maybe no, I don't think I reached out to anybody, but yeah, it
hmm
just seemed very, very legit. So yeah.
Okay, got you.
Mhm.
So you kind of just casually were watching here and there, just letting it kind of sink in, like, okay, do I really want to do this? And then a year in, you decide to jump in, buy the course. Which, by the way, guys, if you're curious, we're going to be seeing some words like SEO, PPC, all these words like that. So if you're curious about what those actually are, there is a free training which I'll put down in the description in the pinned comment below. It'll go over what digital marketing is, the different types of digital marketing, how to get into it, et cetera, et cetera. So definitely check that out down in the description in the pinned comment below. And so you jumped into the course. How was the course? Like how was it just going through it?
Yeah, no, honestly, it felt like a breath of fresh air because it's one thing going on YouTube and like researching things for free, and it's like great that we have free resources online, but it comes to a point where it's like, am I learning everything I'm supposed to? Is this the right structure of things I'm supposed to be learning it in? How do I apply this to my real life? Like all these things I had, because I think I was trying to find free trainings, but it just wasn't what it could be. But it really felt like I could relax because it's like I actually have a teacher, and not only do you like get a course and like watch the videos, but like you can email Seth anytime. He's not some star that you can't like reach out to. Like I like how he'll personally talk to you.
Hmm.
Um, or email you back. He also has a Facebook group. So there's like I can say 3, 4 coaches that I could really reach out to personally. There's one for like PPC, SEO, one. His name is Juan Salinas. He was
Hmm.
great. I could just ask him any questions. He was great with helping me not only with accounts, but also with getting a job. There's also like a career coach. So she would like look at my resume, all these things. Seth does that too, but it's just so hands-on. And he explains all the different, he said there's like 4 main parts of digital marketing right now. So there's like
Hmm.
PPC, SEO, email marketing, and then I think it was like social media marketing. And he's transparent about like salary, about like, okay, see how it is, see if this is what you want. So you get to make the decision for yourself. It's not like this is the only way.
Hmm.
But he teaches you everything, all the basics. It's not like nothing to where it feels like it's just kindergarten level, but it's not overwhelming where it feels like you can't do it. It's a perfect in between for what you need to know to get a job. And then after you learn that, he says, okay, here's a assignment to do, a spreadsheet assignment. Here's an SEO audit you can do. The coaches review it, they give you feedback, so you really like actually learn. And it's funny looking back, like I remember doing my first spreadsheet. I was like, this is so cool. Like I feel like a digital marketer now. And even like getting my own Google account and like researching search volume for different keywords, I was like, this is so cool. Uh, and then he shows you like even how to get clients in real life, how to get the job, the
Mhm.
right resume, even like LinkedIn profile optimization, which actually is more important than I thought it was.
Mhm.
Uh, and then also even like now he has mindset calls once a month, which actually really helped me get the job because, of course, when you apply to jobs, you're going to get rejections. And I didn't handle it as well as I thought I would. I thought I would honestly get a job within 10 applications. And then when I'd see rejection after rejection, I was like, oh, like maybe I can't do this. But it's like, he was just like, no, like you just keep going. Like
Mhm.
you've had these accomplishments, you just keep going at it, and then you're going to get it. And it was funny because like I think 2, 3 weeks later I got the job.
It's
So it's
awesome.
just so hands-on in every way that like I feel like he should be charging 3 times as more, but like
Uh,
he just has that good in between, you
yes.
know? Yeah.
The funny thing is, we've actually talked to a bunch of people. We've gone to business conferences together, and everyone says he should charge way more. It's
Hmm.
but he just wants to keep it accessible for people because a lot of the people who join, they're young, they're not making too much money, they're in between jobs, that kind of thing. So he really wants to keep it accessible to people.
Hmm.
So yeah, but he could definitely charge like 3 to 5 times more for sure, and he would make a lot more money doing that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like he's got a great community. I think because of the fact that he doesn't charge that much, people really appreciate it, and so that's one of the things that's built up the community so much is they feel like they got way more value than what they paid, right?
Hmm.
And so they want to stick around, they want to help other people and stuff like that, which is awesome. I mean, the community he's built is amazing. Sometimes I have digital marketing questions and I reach out to people in the community, which is great. So okay, so after you took the course, how long did it take you to get a job?
Yeah, so I think it'd say like 8 to 9 months. I honestly count August as when I really started the course. I don't really count May too much because I was kind of leisurely going through it in the summer, barely at all. Uh, but yeah, I spent 3 months like really learning it, taking notes, like really digesting it, 3 months applying the knowledge in real life with like myself and a client, and then 3 months applying to jobs. So I'd say it was like 8, 9 months.
Got it. Okay.
Hmm.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I heard a statistic from people after graduating from college, or when they start applying for jobs. Sometimes they start applying before graduating. They're typically taking around the same amount of time to get a job these days. So, yeah, that pretty much tracks. So, okay, cool. Also, what did you think about the community, like the Facebook group? How helpful and collaborative people are.
It was great, honestly. It was the best of both worlds because it's like you get people that are actually experienced professionals who want to help you, but then also you get to meet people who are in your same position. You can be like, "Oh, like where are you at? How can I help you with this?" And yeah, it's great because it's like you can really collaborate. You can ask any question at all. No one's really going to judge you because everyone there is who is active really is normally a beginner. And yeah, like even some of the coaches, of course, some of them, might charge if it's like an hour and they have like 10 plus years experience, completely understandable. But some are just like, no, we can hop on a quick call, talk about this, and that. And it's great. And yeah, honestly, I don't see how I could have been where I'm at now without the community. I think, everything is Googleable, searchable, but you really do need people to personally talk to sometimes and ask
Hmm.
questions to. Even they'll say happy birthday. Like if they see it's your birthday, they'll be like, happy birthday. I hope you have a great one. They'll check in on you. It's really great. Even seeing Seth's insights sometimes, like even if it's not digital marketing related, like how to improve productivity, importance of mindset. It's really, really helpful and it makes it actually feel like, not to sound like cliche, like it's a home or
Hmm.
family, but like it really adds a personal touch to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's a lot of things out there where all the information is available, and at the end of the day, you can either pay with your time or your money, right? So time and effort, yeah, for sure. You all the information's out there. You can learn how to do digital marketing for free, pretty much online, ChatGPT, whatever. It's kind of the same thing as personal training, right? It's like all the information on fitness is out there, and it's been out there for the last like 30 years. But there's still millions and millions of personal trainers that are helping people, and it just makes a huge difference having somebody there to tell you when to apply the information, what information to apply, give you feedback, tell you what your blind spots are. I remember I started working out without a personal trainer and I injured my shoulder. So
Yeah.
like like my
Yeah.
shoulder is permanently injured now. If I have to, I might have to get a surgery if I want to fix it. And if I had a personal trainer, that probably wouldn't have happened. So
Mhm.
it's kind of the same stuff with anything out there. Like whenever I learn a new skill, of course I could just look it up on ChatGPT, but whenever I learn a new skill, like if I'm trying to grow my Twitter or my LinkedIn or whatever, I'm always finding somebody out there who's good at it. So I could just skip the 1,000 hours of grinding, like making mistakes phase, and just go to straight to the being decently good at it phase. So
Exactly.
yeah. Okay. So you got your first job. What did the job entail? Was it like a pay-per-click job?
Yeah, it was a pay-per-click job, but what I liked about it was they're also training me with Meta. So like right now I'm doing Meta ads, but I built my resume around PPC, so like Google Ads primarily, and they're training me with Meta ads. In the future, they might do some GHL training. For those who don't know, it's Go High Level. It's like a
Yeah.
CRM system. Yeah, and yeah, so it was a great in between. So like I'm mainly doing Google Ads, but then they want me to do both. Uh, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we're switching to Go High Level, and we're also recommending to all of our clients to use Go High Level. It's really good.
Hmm.
It's also just like very user friendly too. It's like quite easy to use because everything's integrated in one. Um,
Hmm.
okay, so pay per click. Everyone's gonna wonder. Everyone always asks. This is the one thing they want to know above all else.
Hmm.
How much were you making per hour? Right? How much was your hourly rate for that job?
Yeah, so right now it's 38 an hour and it's part-time right now. So 15 to 20 hours per week, which is double what I made as a server. I'm in a small town, so it's not that much. But yeah, it's great because also on the side, I'm still learning a lot more about marketing and thinking of starting my own thing, like possibly a digital offer or just anything at all. I get that breathing room in my day. It doesn't feel like I'm on my computer 10 hours a day. So
Mhm.
it's a great, great balance, and I really thank God for it. Yeah.
$38 an hour at 19 years old, guys. That is epic. So you're basically making like a full-time income and you're only working part-time, essentially.
Mhm.
Because you're working like let's say 20 hours a week, 38 an hour. So yeah, that's basically full-time income. It would be 40 hours a week at 20 an hour, basically, or close.
Mhm.
Yeah, wow, that's epic. That's epic. Congratulations. That's amazing. And I
Mhm.
love how you're also talking about you're acquiring other skills. One thing I always tell people is when you go into these really valuable career paths, you're getting paid to learn in-demand skills. There's a
Mhm.
lot of careers people go into where it's kind of just like a warm body career, and they just kind of dread going to work every day. And it's like it's just they don't really get that much done and all that stuff. But it's like, okay, when you're in digital marketing, you're getting paid to learn in-demand skills every single day. Like,
Mhm.
just let that sink in. Usually, everyone else has to go to college and pay to learn questionably in-demand skills. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But you're actually getting paid to learn in-demand skills, while a lot of your peers are going to college and paying probably like $38 an hour to learn in-demand skills. So like that's what I like to tell people is like flip that mindset, that old paradigm of you have to pay to learn in-demand skills to you're getting paid to learn it. That's way better, right? That's just way better. So,
Mhm.
and you're looking into other, career paths, potentially like going up the ladder, also looking into starting potentially your own business down the line, which is another thing I always tell people is like these career paths that I tend to recommend are really good like jumping off points to starting your own business at some point. So tech sales is one I recommend. Digital marketing careers I recommend. I mean, those are like the two most valuable skills you can learn. Like sales and marketing. It's like every business ever needs sales and marketing. So those are the two most valuable skills you could possibly learn in business. So yeah, that's awesome. You're fully utilizing everything. So what tips would you give? Like, what's the most important tip you would give to somebody who is trying to get a digital marketing job right now?
It's a good question. I mean, honestly, of course, my first answer is like get Seth's course because like I just don't know how I would actually do it without. I mean, of course, everything's figure outable, but like you said, you pay with your time or your money. Things can take
Hmm.
longer, it's cheaper, but like it takes longer. Yeah, first thing I'd say honestly is get Seth's course. Uh, I'd say try to find other people that are in the position you want to be in and talk to them, interview them, see if it's right for you.
Hmm.
Uh, I'd say, yeah, I'm trying to think anything like outside of Seth's course. Like honestly, just learning the skills, researching the skills, and then practicing them. I mean, not everyone has maybe a friend or family member that has a business that you could practice it on, but even just creating your own site and practice there, putting that on a resume,
Hmm.
just really getting that experience, that knowledge, because that's what employers really care about. Like I've had 3, 4 companies I've solidly interviewed with, like gone through 2, 3 rounds, and not once did anyone ask me like, "Oh, did you go to you getting a degree because we need someone with a marketing degree?" Like no one
Hmm.
ever asked me that. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, it's very, very accessible in this world, especially now with all the resources that we have. So ultimately, getting the knowledge and getting the
Hmm.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I love that point. So yeah, you if you don't have experience, like this is the problem that everyone has these days, is you need 2 years of experience to get a job, but you can't get 2 years of experience without getting a job. And there's a couple different ways to get around that. You could do freelancing, like even just Fiverr gigs, freelancing. That accounts as experience. You're getting paid. You could, Upwork is another one, obviously. You can do something like quite specific, but it does fall under the umbrella of digital marketing. Just as an example, like a few years back, I knew this guy who was making a ton of money making custom Discords. It was technically marketing, like what he was doing, because the Discords were designed to, market and sell to people. So, yeah, like just like get experience, like freelancing, for instance, that's one way. You can volunteer at businesses.
Mhm.
That's another way. You can also just reach out to family members and friends who have businesses and just be like, hey, can I fix your website? Can I create a new website? Can I run ads to your website? It's just stuff like that. Um, they're probably not going to say no to that. I mean, especially,
Yeah,
you can just be like, hey, pay me $1 or something. So it's technically paid work. And it's like, yeah,
yeah,
sure. Why not?
that's what I
And
did.
yeah, you can create your own website even. Some people out there create their own companies and then they employ themselves. Don't do that. But people do that. That is something I've seen people do. Don't do that though. But yeah, it's there's so many ways of getting experience, and the best way to get experience, especially in digital marketing, is to just do it. So yeah, that's a great
Exactly.
tip. And then
Exactly.
and then try to prove that you have the experience by documenting it in some sort of portfolio as well,
Yes,
right?
I would
So,
definitely, yeah, definitely recommend that because, like, yeah, for me, like, I had my dad. He has an environmental consulting firm. It's his own business basically, and so it's basically he'll screen the land for if it's healthy or if it has any issues like asbestos or anything like that before any
mm,
and just bought or sold or properties. And so he said he was having a down year, and I was like, oh, like, I could do Google Ads for you. And so I did
uh,
some Google Ads for him, and then I helped him to get some leads, which actually led to like I think he said at the time I thought it was 5K in one month that he made extra from those Google ads, but I think he said recently it was actually 6.5K extra just from the Google ads.
wow,
Yeah, so that
that's
was great.
awesome.
Yeah, no, I thank God for that. And
Yeah,
like Seth, when I told him about it, he was like, that should be everywhere. That should be on your LinkedIn. That should be on your resume. That should be everywhere. And so,
yeah,
like, I know what you mean now because it's like I could have just said I did Google Ads for him, but when you show that experience and you show the results, because that's what people really care about, especially employers, like
hmm,
that's you can get the job way more easily because then they actually see who you are. Like you want to make it easier for the
hmm,
employees to see you stand out.
yeah, yeah, for sure. That's awesome. So, somebody who's watching this, they're kind of in the same situation as you. They're interested in digital marketing, interested in Seth's course, but that, they're on the fence about it. Should I jump in? Should I not jump in? What's your advice to them?
Well, number one, you could you could always DM me on LinkedIn. I'd be willing to call number one. But second, I don't see anything you really have to lose. Even I'm thinking like later on in life, if people have families or anything, it just takes, dedication of time. It takes effort. It's not like you just build your resume and get hired right away. Again, it doesn't take forever. Yeah, I mean, see if it's right for you, especially with the type of job. If you don't like being online a lot, definitely don't get it. If you can't do the same thing every day in terms of like practicing that, doing the skills, like definitely don't do it. I don't know, I'd just say research it. But again,
Hmm.
there's nothing that could really go wrong with it at the end of the day. So,
By the way, I forgot to ask you,
mhm.
are you working a remote job?
Yes.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So that's kind of another thing that I think is a bit underrated and not a lot of people kind of realize is, you're working a remote job making $38 an hour. In San Francisco, that wouldn't be that good, right? You'd be kind of barely getting by. You'd probably have a bunch of roommates and stuff, right? But if
Mhm.
you're living in a smaller town or, you could even be traveling, making $38 an hour, it's like that is incredible. So, that's one of the valuable things about getting a remote job is I think it's called geo arbitrage or geographic arbitrage. You can just
Mhm.
make money that's like really good money, in a big city, but then just live in a place that's just not as expensive. So, and then it's just super easy to get by. So, that's kind of another point that I always like to, make to people. So, because, if you make like $50,000 a year, but you live in a place that's really affordable, then it's almost like making 100,000 a year, basically.
Mhm.
Like you make 50,000 a year in San Francisco, it's like, that's tough. That's really tough to get by. So,
Yeah.
cool. So any last moment tips, tricks, any last words before we end the interview for people who are, potentially thinking about going into digital marketing, thinking about buying Seth's course, anything like that?
I definitely would say I think the biggest thing that I learned and that people can take away is like mindset at the end of the day. Cause like, uh, yeah, like I'm not gonna get into like, meditation or anything like that, but it's just the way you think. It's your
Hmm.
beliefs definitely do matter, regardless of who you are. And so I think that's the biggest thing that was holding me back when I started it. I didn't realize how I thought it was impossible. Going from zero to
Hmm.
one feels like, climbing Mount Everest, but at the end of the day is like you just put one foot in front of the other and you're like, okay, I do this now, this now, this now. And before
Yeah.
you know it, like, you're actually qualified and you're ready. And I remember Seth at one point after I got the experience, he was like, guys, like you are digital marketers. Like, don't tell yourself you're a freelancer. You're just kind of practice like you are that person.
Hmm.
And and then here I am now. Like if I would have told myself a year ago, here I am, like I would have been like, how did I do this?
Yeah.
So definitely I'd say like it's definitely possible for anyone. Like I'm not extra special to where I can do this and you can't.
Mhm.
And just taking that leap of faith. And yeah, I thank Jesus Christ for guiding me through all of this. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. So yeah, I second that as well with the mindset thing. And I'll tell everyone it gets easier. It really does get easier, right? Once you get that 2 years, like 1 or 2 years of experience, even once you just get like, portfolio experience, like we were talking about, it gets significantly easier. And then once you get the 1 to 2 years of entry level experience, it gets easier from there. And then
Mhm.
you're kind of just on cruise control mode. Or if you want to, you can push really hard and get a better job, a manager job, a director job, etc. If you want to, or you can start a business, right? But yeah,
Mhm.
you kind of get on. It's like on cruise control. After like the 2 year period, it becomes so much easier. And when it comes to mindset, yeah, that's the thing. I remember when I was trying to start businesses, I started so many different businesses and I failed over and over again. And the number one thing, it wasn't really like my technical skills or anything like that. It was my mindset. That was the number one thing that was holding me back. And that no one wants to hear that though, right? No one wants to hear it's your mindset. So it's like when I train people on how to grow and make money on YouTube, that is the number one problem is their mindset that's holding them back from having success. But nobody wants to hear that. But that's exactly what they need to hear. Everyone thinks like, oh, I just need to know this little trick or that little trick or this little tip and that little tip. No, it's mostly just the mindset. So
Mhm.
yeah, I would say everyone has their own philosophy on mindset. Some people like the law of attraction or whatever. Some people are into just, like meditation or just, affirmations or just positive thinking in general. Gratefulness is a big thing, right? Just waking up in the morning, say three things that you're grateful for, right? When you wake up in the morning, that's a really great, way to improve your mindset. So, but yeah, I totally agree with you. And Seth's mindset training is quite good. And Seth and I have actually talked a lot about kind of like the philosophical part of and the mindset part of things. And yeah, it's his stuff is really good for sure. Without going like too deep into it, it's really good. So, is there anything I should have asked you, but I didn't ask you?
Honestly, I can't really think of anything right now. That was just kind of like my final thoughts there. Uh,
Awesome.
yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank
Awesome.
you for Mhm.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Carmen. She did say that people can message her on LinkedIn. So if you send me the your LinkedIn link, I'll put it in the description, the pin comment below. Also, free training in the description, the pin comment below, and in that same link, if you want to just directly purchase the course, I believe you can do it, or you might have to get on the email list and then purchase it. But it should be that same link for purchasing the course as well. And yeah, thanks so much for coming on the channel, Carmen. And maybe we'll get you back here in a few years and we can do an update just like we did with James and also Keyshawn.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being on. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Have a good
Mhm.
one.